So this is my 55-gallon freshwater aquarium, and as you can see, I have a number of fish in there, a little bit of driftwood, fairly good amount of plants, hoping to expand upon that, some lava rock, and if I back up a little bit, you see this interesting contraption up here. This, boys and girls, I like to call the Crabarium. This is actually homemade. I built this, designed it, everything myself. This came about because I have a red claw crab that I got, and I was a bit ignorant when I initially got him. After doing some research on him, because he kept climbing up into a filter of a different tank that I had him in, it turns out that they need an ample amount of time out of the water. So in order to keep my aquarium, keep the red claw, I designed this. Primarily based off of a filter design. You can see that essentially I designed a box with a cut right here so that it fits over the lip of the aquarium. And then I did a few other modifications to it. You can see there's some air holes here, so there's enough air exchange, no gases get trapped. The crab, he is in here. You can see him right there. Let's see him. Hey, little guy. The crab has very much made this Crabarium his home. You can see I give him a little bit of fish. There is water. There's plenty of room for him to be out of the water. And you can even see a little bit of plants in there. Those are just started. Again, so I created a top that has a clasp because these little suckers are sneaky. If you've ever had them, you know what I'm talking about. They are little ninjas of the aquarium world. They're able to get out. Got some hinges. Those are attached by acrylic glue or silicone. The contraption itself is made out of plexiglass. Now, this right here, this section is watertight. So I do want water to be here and have him be able to come in here as he likes. You can see I have a small, let's see if I can, there's a small felt pad there that gives it a little bit more stability up against the aquarium. You can see a little tube right here. What this is, if we follow the tube through, this is connected to a small pond pump. It can be very, very weak. The elevation it needs to go in this case is something like 6 inches. So I got that, the small pond pump, and then I taken water directly from the aquarium. I drilled a hole through this area, and it goes through. It pumps water down into this area, and then what it does is it waterfalls back into this area. Now for water exchange, what it is, you can see I've got some holes that I've drilled into that. And you can see they are on all sides. Get a little bit fishy. Just small holes. Now, the interesting part with the section that is inside the aquarium, there's no need for it to be watertight. So you don't really have to worry too much about, your glue job on that side. This side, very important for it to be airtight. This side, not so much, because you do want a good amount of water exchange. You don't want the water to get stale. You don't want the air to get stale. So it's a necessity to have enough breathing holes built into that. Now, at this point, you've probably noticed something else. Essentially what this is, it is I'm not sure what exactly that is called, coupling or something like that. It has a 1-inch diameter inside. That is what allows them to be able to breach into the Crabarium. I have this tied up, again, because water tightness and things like that aren't really an issue. This just needs to be secured to keep it stabilized. This tube is essentially the crab ladder. The crab, this is a very thick amount of tubing that I've got here. I've had some ideas and suggestions from a good buddy that has said that maybe use plants or a stick, and I just haven't gotten to that point yet. With the materials that were available to me, I chose to get this. This has a 1.5-inch diameter. You can see the snails are very fond of it. What I did is I tapered this area off so that it would be easier to get in and out. And I was very excited after installing the Crabarium completely with the pond pump and all the air holes. And once it was completely finished, it took the crab about 2 or 3 days to begin using it. I did have to coax him, or at least let him know where it was by taking him out of the tank. This was his former favorite spot, this little piece of driftwood. Nice little thing you can see there. And it would pretty much stay there. He didn't get out of this tank, but he did get out of other tanks, and I just wanted to make sure to give him plenty of space. So this is something that you could build larger, just happened to be with the size of the plexiglass that I got. I used, they do them in weird sizes, but it's essentially, I want to say it's like 3/8 of an inch, or maybe not even quite that much, about 1/4 inch. But I just want something that was sturdy enough, but really this area here holds maybe a few cups of water. This area here, that is, not much. The rest of it doesn't really have much weight bearing or anything like that. Again, this area here, it's very important that that is watertight as well, but once you get to, once you make sure that this angle is watertight, the rest, all of those, as far as gluing and whatnot, it's not so necessary that it's watertight. So that's the Crabarium. This prevents him because the entryway into this is submerged in the water. You can see, because it is submerged where he gets in, he can crawl on the outside, but then there's essentially just no way for him to continue crawling and then get over the side. That's what I've been fighting. So this is, I know it looks like he might be able to get through that tube, but it is actually too far for him to easily be able to do. He might be able to swim his way over or something, perhaps. But as of yet, I've had no incidents. It's been a couple weeks since I've installed this, and he has not crawled out or anything to that effect. So he seems to be liking it. He has entered and exited on his own. It's a success. I was super excited. Designed it completely from scratch. If you have any questions or anything like that, leave me some comments. Thanks.